Hey, this is Notser, and we're looking at the Royal Navy battleship, not the Warspite, but the HMS Hood. The HMS Hood was teased in the World Warships Asia Facebook, I believe, and based on the tease, we can infer a couple things. They have labeled it as a battle cruiser. This is historical data. Obviously, there's not battle cruisers in the game as a class, but they could place in a battleship line that plays like battle cruisers and have that the identity of the entire line. It's fast, 31 knots, 381 millimeter guns, torpedoes, and it has rocket launchers as AA protection, which is weird. Here is the ship in game. It kind of looks like it's not done, and the reason I say that, it doesn't have any rust or a camouflage. Usually, they like to put rust and camouflage on these ships. I'm sure some of you are just face-palming because that takes away the beauty, but that's the style they're going for, so that tells me it's a ways off from being released. Now, because we've inferred all of these, what does that suggest? Well, that might suggest it's going to be the premium that comes out with the British Battleship line. We know the French are on the public test server right now for super testers and developers to test 0.6.3. I doubt 0.6.3 we will actually get to play them. 6.4 or 6.5 might sound better, more appropriate. I will get access to it obviously 2 to 3 weeks before you do, and I'm not going to touch it at 6.3. I just know it. So the French cruisers will be coming out probably May, June, and then at that time they will probably tease the British battleships, I think. The British battleships is very exciting for a lot of people, obviously. It's probably the most exciting line that isn't in the game yet. I think that's fair to say. I think that will make everyone feel better. So when the ships come out, they're going to sell a premium. And I think it's going to be the Hood. And I think the Hood is going to align with their identity of the British battleship line that's going to be in the game. That does not mean they won't have more typical, heavily armored battleships as an alternative line at some point, but I think the British battleship line will be classified as battle cruisers, even though they are battleships from an icon standpoint, and you queue up and you fit the role of a battleship. So what does that mean? Well, a line with higher than average gun caliber, quicker, more nimble, a Scharnhorst, Gneisenau sort of style loadout, but less armor. They probably won't have any turtleback, so they will suffer citadels if they angle incorrectly. They need to be aware of that. I think it could be fun and exciting. I'm looking forward to this identity being a part of the British battleships when they do come out. I think the Hood itself is a good example of how you should play it whenever it does come out. I don't understand the rocket launcher thing. That's very odd to me. I can't imagine it's going to be super impressive to take out the A. You're not going to be like, well, it's 100% protected from aircraft now. No, it's going to be like 1 in a million shot. You see a rocket go up and blow up. So that's how it'll work out. But the Hood coming out, we know they're going to make a lot of money. We know it's going to be played by a lot of people. Might as well coincide with the British battleship being launched. I don't think anyone will be complaining about that. I think it's nice to swap off of a cruiser line and go battleship. I don't think they want to go, just for example, I don't think they want to go French cruiser, French battleship, British battleship. I don't think they're going to do British destroyers. I think they're ready for the British battleship line to be in the game. I think a lot of us are ready. The Germans, once we look at this, the German battleships are the last battleship line to come out. And that's pretty far away now. We've had the Soviet alternative destroyer line. We've had the Japanese alternative destroyer line. We've had the German destroyers come out. And then the French cruisers are going to be coming out. So I think they're due. I think it aligns well with their teasing. Maybe they could have done the Roma for the Italians, but they probably felt like that's going to be too close to a battleship line. We can save the Roma for when we don't have battleship content coming out. That's what I'm thinking from my point of view, my perspective. They want to get content out for everyone, and they want the variety to exist. Well, the British battleships, even from a battleship captain, there's a lot of variety there. The Alabama's coming out, but it's not really a mainline thing. I'm talking mainline stuff, you know. So yeah, I'm expecting the British battleships maybe August, September, that time frame. That would be a fair time frame for them. And somewhere around there, the Hood might come out. And I think that's great for the game. What do you think of the Hood? Are you afraid of the idea of a battle cruiser identity for the British battleships? Would you prefer they remain more typical battleships with higher armor, lower speed, that sort of thing? I'm not sure whether this is acceptable for a lot of battleship captains. Well, the Brits are going to be happy. The Brits are probably just like, oh, yes, finally. But the battleship captains, is it going to be appropriate to be this low armored for the massive guns that you might get in response, you know, as a compensation for that? I don't know. It's a challenge. I'm excited to try that challenge. I initially didn't really like the British cruisers, but that's also because I knew I had played the British cruiser line with HE, and I was like, well, this is way better. Why did they take that away? They fixed it. It felt good. It felt okay. So yeah, let me know what you think. I'm excited to talk about the Hood more. I know people like Jingles. They're going to go into the history in detail. I don't need to do that. My point of view is the gameplay. Having a fast battleship, large caliber, low armor, I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a real challenge to make it work. And I can't wait. I can't wait. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you have a fantastic day. And I'll catch you next time.